Not all functions in Arduino have two parts, but many of them do. For the ones that do, the general format is a library name, the dot, and then the function name. Or the library name is capitalized and the function name is not. And the print function is part of the serial library, so that's why we need both parts for this to work. Now what about all the stuff in the parentheses? These are the function's arguments, which you could think of as, well, the stuff the function uses. The \n inside the quotes in the second print statement tell the computer where on the screen to print the characters and how to print them. In this case, the \n tells the compiler to print the text on a new line. Now, I know there's another way to do this, but for illustrative purposes, we're going to stick with this way for now. Now, the first print statement has two arguments separated by a comma. First, we tell the compiler to print the number 255. The bin stands for binary and tells the computer to print it in binary. That's why we see all ones on a serial monitor, because 255 in binary is just 8 ones. Usually, you'll use just one argument for the serial.print function. The point I wanted to illustrate here is that some functions can take more than one argument, while others, like loop and setup, take none. Some functions return a value. And what do we mean by return? Well, sometimes a function will take some stuff, get a result, and then return that result to the main program or the function that called that function. So let's use this fictitious function here that adds two numbers as an example. Let's type here, we're going to say fake function, and I'm going to make this up. Let's see, int number adder num1 num2. Now the int in front of the function name indicates that it returns an integer. In this case, that integer is the sum of num1 and num2, which are the things the function takes in or uses. Earlier I said some functions return a value. Others do not, like the delay function, for example. The delay function just waits a certain amount of time, a number of milliseconds, and then that's it. You may see functions that don't return a value written like this. Now, I'm not the best typist here, so bear with me. Function that does not return a value. The void simply means that the function doesn't return anything. Other functions return nothing and take no arguments. And you may see these written like this. And I'm just going to copy, paste, and then in the parentheses, you'll see void again. It just means that, again, the function doesn't return anything, nor does it take any arguments. Now, it's pretty obvious how our fictitious number adding function works, but oftentimes it's not so obvious how functions work. For now, a good way to think of a function is like a black box that we can't see inside of. The box takes some inputs and then has some sort of output. We don't know exactly what goes on inside the box, and we don't care as long as it works. When we talk about writing our own functions in a later tutorial, we'll go ahead and take a peek inside the box. But for now, we don't know what's in there or how it works. So let's do a quick recap here. A function is a self-contained unit of program code designed to accomplish a particular task. Arduino comes pre-packaged with many different functions for handling different common tasks. Functions save you from repetitious, boring programming. They're composed of different parts, what the function returns, if anything, the name of the function, and the arguments it takes, again, if any. And for now, a good way, or abstraction, to think of a function is like a black box with an input and an output. We don't need to know what's in it or how it works. And that's it for now, guys. We're going to go over functions again in more detail in another tutorial.